All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mindgasms. So, I am Andrew, aka Hard Mindgasms. Oh, that was a weird voice crack for the purposes of this video. And I'm, of course, going to continue my series on Jordan Peterson, the internet world famous clinical psychologist slash public intellectual who I often criticize but occasionally agree with, his new book called Beyond Order. And this is Rule 7, which I think can easily be interpreted as Jordan Peterson gets hard for hard work because, well, I'll get into it. The rule is work as hard as you possibly can on one thing and see what happens, as you can see here in my thumbnail as well. So, yeah, basically, I just wanted to get into this a little bit and share my thoughts about it. So basically, I would say that this is one that, like some of his other rules that I've gone through, I like in principle, but the way he goes on and on and on about it in the book makes me uncomfortable with the rule in terms of the way he is interpreting it and the degree to which oops sorry and the degree to which he is stressing it. So basically he goes on, and like, if you've watched any Jordan Peterson videos, you've seen him do this innumerable times. He goes on and on and on about how important hard work is, to the point of him basically, at least almost, if not completely, seeing it as divine. And it just, when he starts talking about responsibility, man, it's the most important thing ever, and hard work is the most important thing ever too. I love work so much, it makes me hard. Ho 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 ho, makes me hard. Oh, I just look at pictures of men doing hard work and it makes me hard. Anyway, that's basically my objection to this. Like I said, like I was saying anyway, I value hard work. It's definitely an important thing. I work hard on my YouTube channel, for example. So does Jordan Peterson. There's nothing in principle wrong with hard work, but he stresses it so much that he goes overboard. And I think he stresses it too much, to the point that he basically is encouraging workaholism and the idea that there is nothing inherently, nothing bad, no downside of working hard. And I like what the psychologist Gabor Mate, who I like, has said about Jordan Peterson in general, and carrying your own cross and being obsessed with hard work and responsibility, to the point of basically encouraging workaholism, that it's designed for psychological repression. And I think that's true. And it reminded me of this too, because I also recently read Gabor Mate's famous book about drug addiction and safe injection sites, called In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. And he talks in that book about how he has had so many problems with with workaholism before, that it's become one of his addictions, and it's just as much of an addiction as those of the drug addicts who he helps psychologically counsel, because he's basically had the same sort of negative consequences as other types of addicts. He's alienated his family at time. He's made himself miserable, and it's even harder to get yourself out of the workaholism mode with a job like his, because he really is doing something noble and helping people, like Jordan Peterson was as well, when he was still a psychologist. And I mean, he still is helping people now with his self-help stuff that I think is way less interesting than, as I've said before in my previous videos, his book Beyond Order, or not book Beyond Order, his first book called Maps of Meaning, which is way more dry and academic, but I think it's way more philosophically and religiously and spiritually interesting, mostly because he does a lot of comparisons between different religions, which he doesn't do so much anymore. Anyway, yeah, the point is that I really like, I like the rule in principle, pick something, work as hard as you possibly can at least one thing and see what happens. Like I said, that's a very good idea in principle, but I think he should also add as a caveat to this rule, but don't get so obsessed with work that you become a workaholic and destroy your life and make yourself miserable and alienate yourself from your family, friends, and relationships. Because I'm speaking from personal experience. I value hard work somewhat, sometimes too much. And I have gone overboard with that and made myself miserable by being too much of a workaholic. So that should be his adjusted rule. Work as hard as possibly as you can as at least one thing and see what happens, unless you're working so hard that it makes yourself that it makes you miserable and it makes you hate what you're doing or hate your family and relationships and alienate your family, friends, and loved ones. All right. Anyway, that's pretty much all I need to say about this particular rule. So let me know what you think in the comments. I know there are all of these Jordan Peterson sycophants who are always defending everything he says, no matter what the circumstances are. And I also, in spite of criticizing him, I I am not like I'm not quite as against him as some people are. For example, I've seen people on the Majority Report, for example, talk about how he's like a Nazi and he's a far right, bigoted, transphobic, homophobic, terrible person and all that kind of shit. I definitely don't think that. I think basically he just doesn't have a fucking clue what he's talking about. Whenever he talks about philosophy specifically, you check out all of my other videos criticizing what he says about postmodernism and critical theory and critical race theory and basically philosophy in general. He always gets that wrong. But yeah, anyway, like I said, I like this rule in principle, but he goes way too overboard with it. Hard work is good, but too much hard work is bad. All right. Thanks everyone again for watching. Check out my playlist on my channel with my other videos in this series so far. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click that bell to be notified when I come out with new videos. Probably, I think the next one I will probably do will probably be another one in one of my book series I'm doing. I'm not sure which one yet. Maybe The History of Sexuality by Foucault, or I might go back to the Stoicism one that I haven't gone into in a while, which is Epictetus's The Art of Living. If you're watching this, let me know which one you would prefer in the comments. And yeah, thanks everyone again for watching. Oh, check out my Patreon page as well. The link is in the description as always. And like I always say, most importantly, always remember this: the funk cures all, and groove is in the heart. And I think Jordan Peterson has good intentions, but he's kind of become a crackpot, especially lately. All right, thanks again, everyone, and adios until next time.